Alright, welcome back. Muffin here. So I wanted to share just this replay of this Panther gameplay I ended up doing. I was quite proud of. I've been playing War Thunder now for about 3 to 4 months, and man, is it quite the learning curve going from World of Tanks, Blitz to War Thunder. I know you guys have already heard me mention multiple times just how different it is, but I wanted to share just some takeaways, some things I really wished I knew earlier on when playing this game. Anyone that is looking to make a transition from even maybe testing out War Thunder, going from any other tank game or World of Tanks, PC, World of Tanks Blitz. I've played those before. It, going from this game, it will be a really humbling experience. There is just something about it that you really think, hey, I have all this experience. I've been playing World of Tanks for, Blitz for 7 years. How hard could a game like this really be? And there's a whole other layer of complexity when it comes to War Thunder. But I'm going to go in just to some tips to really help any newcomers out. And like I said, I've only played this game for 4 months, but I honestly think these are some very, very impactful things and things I've even learned from other really big War Thunder YouTubers when playing this game. So, number one is the one thing I really wish I would have learned early on is the graphics settings. Go into your control panel. You can look up YouTuber videos on changing your graphics settings in a way so that you can have peak performance or just the ability to do much better than probably a lot of other players in the game. And you wouldn't really think maybe changing your settings could have a big outcome, but in this it really does. And what I mean by that is you can end up going in and turning your engine sound down and other tanks' engine sounds all the way up, so you can end up hearing other tank sounds much, much better. And especially when you're on the move, understanding where other tank sounds are coming from helps you understand, hey, that sounds like maybe a German tank or a Russian tank. So it helps you know what's around you. There's so many things about this game that you really have to pay attention to. And then also things like being able to have the ability to turn grass off in your binocular vision so that when you're looking over like grassy hills or anything like that, it completely removes all that so you can see a lot better. So little tips like that can make a big, big difference. The three main things I would say that I've really noticed with this game to just help you be successful. Now, I'm not one to really say I'm the best at this game. There is absolutely no way. When you're first playing this game, just keep in mind you're going to die a lot, and there's going to be a lot to learn. If you're dying a lot, don't think that there's something wrong with you or that you're just a sucky person. I have been there, and that is not the case. You will. And some of the things I would recommend is it's okay to just follow your teammates around. Just pay attention, see what they're doing. It really helps you get familiar with the map, maybe good positions that they're going in. Another thing that is really helpful is to go back and watch your replays, and not even to just watch yourself. That's not what I mean, but in the War Thunder replay system, you can have a free camera, look around the map, get a feel for where the enemies are going. You can select to see all the enemies and what they're doing, or a specific tank. And sometimes it's really helpful to see just what others are doing. I don't want to do any self-promotion here, but also watching like War Thunder best replays, like replays from very experienced players on YouTube is super helpful because you can learn of some awesome positions to go and put yourself early on or any time during the game to really give you a good advantage. So I have a War Thunder Best Replays channel where I get submissions from excellent games go check it out. I do have the link below. But I would say that number one is pay attention to your map. I can't tell you how many times I've made decisions not looking at my map, and it has gotten me in really bad positions. I've gotten myself killed really easily, or how many times I've looked at my map, and because I've looked at my map, it's actually helped save me. And what I mean by that is your map can help you make decisions based on whether to advance, whether not to advance, in places maybe you shouldn't go, or maybe places as you are advancing that you should be paying attention to. Your teammates will mark on the map a lot of times where they see enemies and where to pay attention to. If your team is just getting absolutely dissolved, when to maybe fall back, or if your team is advancing and doing really well, when it could be good and safe to move up. So paying attention to your map has been a huge factor in helping me, and when I notice, I end up doing better. Number two, I would have to say, and this is just something that really just comes with playing the game. I don't feel like it's helped me to go into the protection analysis a whole lot. It is kind of helpful, but I feel like this, like I said, just comes with getting to learn the game in general, which is understanding what your tank is capable of, what its strengths and weaknesses are, and knowing how to position your tank according to those strengths and weaknesses. That is just something I am still learning a ton on. And also playing a tank sometimes over and over and over again, instead of just jumping around all the time, I feel like is very helpful in helping you understand what a tank is capable of or not. And then number three, I would have to say, is use your binoculars and be very alert. Using your binoculars, as you can kind of see in this gameplay, it really helps clear things up, helps you see further distances way better and what could potentially be there. Like I said, just being really alert, paying attention to your map, listening to engine sounds. You will familiarize yourself with what German or Russian, American, all these different engine sounds sound like, and where they could potentially be coming from. I would say another thing is you watch a lot of these professional War Thunder players, and sometimes they are just zipping around the map, just kicking butt, doing super well. Honestly, like, they can do that because of the experience they have from playing the game. They kind of know what to expect. You know, they've been playing it for a long time, that they know just, yeah, basically a lot of the outcomes, and what to expect. But as far as when you're playing the game, it's okay to stop, listen, look around before making a decision. I would say another thing that's gotten me in a lot of trouble when playing War Thunder is making decisions that I don't feel comfortable doing, or just making decisions without just stopping, listening, looking at my map, and just trying to get an idea of what's going on before making that move. It's not perfect. I mean, I would say War Thunder, a lot of it comes down to, it's like a game of hide and seek, because it's really whoever you can spot first, and hopefully you can find them before they find you, and positioning, and going along with that, I would have to say, is never really put yourself in a position to be completely out in the open. Try to be within shade, going along walls. It also has been really helpful too. Anytime you're way too out in the open, you become a very, very easy target to see and just get taken out. So, yeah, playing War Thunder has been a humbling experience. I mean, playing the Panther right here, I love the Panther. I think it's an awesome tank, but you can easily get taken out if you don't know what you're doing. some of the things I love about the Panther, it has an excellent cannon. It's got pretty good accuracy and shell velocity. It's got pretty good penetration for the BR that it's at. Which is another thing I kind of wish I knew early on, is how to read BR and lineup. One thing is to know in war, in World of Tanks Blitz or World of Tanks, you easily know if you're at the bottom of the totem pole when you come into a game, if you're like, the worst tank, or if you're like top tier and you've got one of the, best tanks in the game. But War Thunder doesn't really tell you that just flat out. Like, you have to kind of find it out from your for your own, and it kind of took me a while to figure that out. One easy way that I know, and you can look up some videos just based on what I'm talking about on YouTube, is looking at your spawn cost, your spawn points. Destroyers, heavy tanks, light tanks have their own spawn point system, but for the most part, if your spawn cost is really low, like for a heavy tank, if your spawn cost is like 100, then is a good indicator that you're probably a bottom of the totem pole tank. Or if your spawn cost for that tank coming into a game is 160, like I said, being a heavy tank, that's a great indicator to know that, hey, you are potentially a top tier tank. And at anything in between, like 120 or 140 or whatever, then most likely, like I said, you're in one of the in between. You're not like the best. So there are some things to be careful of, because when I'm a top tier tank, so to say, or top of the totem pole, I can rely on my armor a bit more. It changes the outcome of how I think and how I play, just because depending on the tank I play, I can rely on that. But if I'm bottom of the totem pole, and you may even know this just from playing World of Tanks Blitz, when you're bottom of the totem pole, it is much easier for you just to get destroyed or penetrated, whatever the case may be. And that is also how it works with War Thunder as well. The other thing too is, I sometimes always forget this, especially when going from one tank to another, but I'll be playing and forget I have like smoke grenades, or that I can call artillery. And that makes a big difference when playing this game as well. And also being able, some tanks have the ability to shoot smoke shells, and you can use those smoke shells to shoot at enemies and then blind them, which is really, really helpful. I've seen enemies do it to me, and it's really helpful. So all these little tips are things that I've kind of learned or wish that I knew at the beginning when playing War Thunder, that have really made a big difference and helped me be successful. So like, a lot of this, I'm not like rushing into things. I'm taking my time. I'm right now listening to engine sounds, and I can hear something potentially around this corner that may not be friendly. And I'm looking at my map, and I don't see any friendly teammate around the corner. So I know there are some things that I may need to pay attention to. So yeah, like, it's okay not to do what a lot of these top players sometimes do, or these awesome gameplays that a lot of other YouTubers are doing when they're just running around the map, getting just like a bunch of kills. Is just not the case. So I've really grown to love this game. It's definitely a game that you've got to be patient with, to be honest with you. If you love historical accuracy and realism, this is definitely the game for you. It is one thing that really brought me into wanting to play this game compared to games like World of Tanks, compared to World of Tanks Blitz or World of Tanks PC, just because of that realism. War Thunder, comparatively to war gaming, stays pretty true to how these tanks functioned and performed historically, which I absolutely love. And being able to use a lot of the tank's capabilities, like the machine guns, or if a tank has multiple turrets, that's kind of its own realm and trying to get used to as well. So hopefully this was helpful. Like I said, look up how to adjust your in-game settings to give you the best possibility of success around removing grass, sometimes shadows, increasing your or the other tank's engine sounds and decreasing your engine sounds. I know that also having bushes or plants, you'll notice even on my tank how I have bushes and plants. Just because compared to World of Tanks, the computer tells you, obviously, if you get within range of a tank, that the computer will tell you where that enemy is. But by putting bushes or plants on your own tank, the enemy has to rely on what they can see, and that really helps provide some camouflage and some good possibility for them not even be able to see you. There's a lot of times where I'll end up just stopping, and stopping also has some huge benefits too, because your engine gets way quieter, and a lot of the times enemies won't even know you're there, or sometimes they think you're a dead tank. And a lot of times how you know if there's a dead tank, sometimes typically when I was getting used to the game, is I'll look at the hatches, the cupolas of the tanks, because these ones are burning, they're on fire around me. But when they're not on fire, you can look at the cupola and it's like open. And it's like a dark gray, so that's also like a good indicator as well. So anyone making these transitions from World of Tanks Blitz to War Thunder, hopefully this was some helpful tips. Like I said, follow your teammates, look at graphic setting and in-game settings up on YouTube. Follow your teammates, watch replays of top players to find excellent positions. And it's okay, you're gonna suck for a while. You be patient with yourself. It does take time, and it's okay, like I said, to just wait. Don't make rash decisions. Stop, look at your map, get behind hard cover, and then make decisions from there. And you'll also learn within War Thunder, there's a big difference between hard cover and soft cover. Like behind this silo is hard cover, but being behind a bush or a wooden house or something, other tanks can just shoot right through that. And that also took me some time. I thought it was like a glitch or something for a while. Anyway, this is the Muffin here. You guys stay cool and keep tanking.